Top of the morning to you. It's kind of chilly today outside. I just opened my back door up. I like fresh air in here when I'm using my heaters. My diesel heater, I keep windows cracked, but I just turned on my Mr. Buddy heater to warm up the front area. And so I always kind of crack open my back door. And I like to leave this door open about this much at all times because it stays warm enough in here with the diesel heater. And that's what we're going to talk about today. But first, a little health update. You guys that follow along, I'm a little better today. The doctors, I spoke to the doctors yesterday, and they have cut my Lasix in half. They think maybe I'm voiding out too much water, so I'm dehydrated. That's where the black spots and dizziness and all that came from. They think my heart's constructed itself where it's making my kidneys work correctly. And if you guys don't know, only 30% of my heart works. So that's why I have a pacemaker, and that's why it's a defibrillator pacemaker. But only 30% of my heart works. So my kidneys wasn't working well. So they think that they're working good now because the congestive heart failure is down into the good numbers. And so they're going to take me off those diuretics to see if that'll keep me from being so dehydrated. I'm only allotted 64 ounces of water a day, or liquid, 64 ounces of any liquid a day, due to the congestive heart failure. So on to heating your van. All right, guys, I use 3 things to heat my van. The first thing I use is a stovetop canister that sits on top of my butane stove right here. You can get them on Amazon. Mine was $19.99 or $18.99. It's under 20 bucks. That works great on a quick, fast way to heat your van, but you wouldn't want to sleep with it on. It, a little, and plus a butane canister. My stove, I have 2 stoves, but the one I use the most is butane, and it would run out quickly. I do have another stove, a little Coleman camp stove that's propane, but I don't use that as much. But if I just want a quick heat up in the morning, I'll make my coffee first and then throw that little canister on the stove and let it run for 5 or 10 minutes. My van is totally warm. So there's one way to do it. Thing about those is that's open flame. You need to always have a carbon monoxide detector and have your windows cracked. Great ventilation and circulation is the keys to those type of things. Second of all, I have a Mr. Buddy heater right here. Mine also, I put a fan on it, a stovetop, like a wood's burning stove fan. I just have it tied on there with a piece of wire, and it circulates the heat well. Again, always have circulation and ventilation and a carbon monoxide detector. That little Buddy heater heats this whole van easily. I have it on a 5-pound, a 20-pound tank, a 5-gallon tank. And I run that during the days if it's not very cold outside, because it does take less fuel than my diesel heater. And you don't need an alternative source to power it, like a battery or anything. It runs off your propane. But it works very well. Now, there is another heater out there that's like the Buddy heater. It's called King. But I have seen a review on that, and it came apart pretty easy. So I don't think I would go that route, and it was about the same as the Mr. Buddy heater. The Mr. Heater Buddy is actually the name of this. But anyway, it is a pretty good little heater. It throws out the heat well. And also, I have a Camco Wave 3 heater that is stopped up. So that's why I got the Buddy heater. I'm going to see if I can get somebody to repair my Camco. It was quite more expensive. The Camco Wave 3 was 300 bucks. It's about 300 now. The Buddy heater was like 95 to 100 on Amazon. So I got the Buddy heater as a backup heater to my diesel heater. Okay, on to the diesel heater. The diesel heater is my main source of heat. One, because I'm plugged in where I park at. It does need a battery. It needs power source. And I have a 100 amp hour gel battery, but I don't have solar. But I have a battery charger on it. And so I'm plugged in, and so the battery charger keeps that battery topped up. and I run my diesel heater on that. I'll show you the diesel heater I have right here. You can find it on Amazon. I don't know how well a Jackery, maybe a Jackery 1000 or 1500 would run this pretty good. I have a Blue Eddy 500 ACS. I've never tried to run it on that. But if I'm not plugged in, I don't use a diesel heater. That's when I use my Mr. Buddy heater. But the diesel heater is the best heat of all. It's very dry. It's consistent. This particular diesel heater, I use about a gallon. If I keep it running 24 hours a day when I'm plugged in, it takes about a gallon every 24 hours, which is kind of spendy. I mean, diesel here in Oregon is over $4. But it is the best heat. There's no condensation. It's a dry heat, very warm. My particular little diesel heater has 4 vents, and I have little hoses that come off of them. It shoots the air out into different directions. So I will swear by the diesel heater if you have the power source to run it. So that's where I would, the Buddy heater is definitely my backup heater. A quick heat in the morning, if it's not really cold, it's just chilly, I can turn my little heater on my stove. So yeah, there is a lot of, there's a lot of other sources of heat out there you can get, but these are my 3 that I use. I know a lot of people in vans use an electric blanket with a Jackery. I don't use an electric blanket because I'm scared my cats will chew on it. But anyway, I'm pretty comfortable with the heats that I have, but that's some ideas for you guys. So I hope it helps out. Anyway, I'm not going to stay on here much longer. I want you guys to take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Peace out.